Good morning everybody and welcome to another Let's Play. Today we are looking at Star Traders Frontiers, which is a game I've had for quite some time, but it's just received a number of recent updates. In fact, the developers have been making updates to it fairly regularly since release, I believe. So I thought I'd give it another go and record some of it so some of you who might be looking at the game can see roughly what it's all about. I have played it a little bit. I'm not by any means any good at the game. But it's a little bit like if any of you have played Star Sector, or if you've played any of the, back in the day, the Space Rangers games, or if you've played anything like... It's a little bit like, I've heard it described as Mountain Blade in space, and that's possibly one of the better descriptions of it. So I'll go through the game setup. I'll try and do a little bit of explanation as I go, but I'll try and get into the game fairly quickly just so you can see what it's like. So in this game you play the captain of a starship, a Star Trader, that's by the name. So we are going to create our captain first of all. So at the start you have to pick basically the archetype that your captain is going to be. So there are several that are provided for you, and then you can basically create your own templates as well here. The idea here is that you've got different templates that prioritise different aspects of your character, from A through to E, with A being the most important to this type of character and E being the least important. So you can see here that a Corsair type captain basically has a lot of points put into their skills and the ship that they're flying, but actually doesn't have many contacts and doesn't actually have many kind of underlying character attributes underneath all of that. So there are, like I say, there are different templates here. All of these go in different orders for different ones. So bounty hunters are more focused on experience, whereas something like the traveller is much more focused on their attributes and the contacts they have. But you can create your own. So it's really just about what order you want these things to be in. You start off with more things for those that you prioritise. So if you've got attributes as A, you'll see here that for this smuggler one, their attributes are ranging from a couple of 14s, a couple of 24s, and a couple of 30s. Whereas the pirate has got 8s, 12s. They're not nearly as high at the start of the game. Obviously, as you go through the game, some of these things improve, particularly things like your skills. You can buy new ships, you can find new contacts, so none of these are really set in stone. It's just up to you which order you want these in. When I've played in the past, I have created this one here, which is I created a scientist character, but the main focus was on attributes, skills and contacts, and then really the ship and the experience was kind of secondary to that. So I think I'm going to copy this one, because what I want is I don't want to play as a scientist, because one of the recent updates to the game, so they've been doing quite a lot of work on the scientist class to make that much more fun to play, but they've also recently updated this scavenger class, which is how I played the game back when I first got it. Because I quite like the idea of being a bit of a scavenger in space. It's a little bit Firefly, a little bit Retribution Falls, that kind of type of character. So what I'm going to do is change the class. So I'm staying with the same order I've got here. I can move these around if I wanted to make the ship more important than my contacts, then I can do that. And then for each of these, once you've put it in the right order, you just click on it to actually apply your attributes. So I can click on attributes and shuffle these around within my overall maximum. What have I got these set as? So wisdom, charisma, probably about right. They're fairly balanced. However, so there is combat in this game. There's ship-to-ship combat, and then there's crew combat. And for crew combat, you send in 4 of your crew. Now, for my scientist character that this was set up for, I never intended for my captain to actually be on the front line fighting. For my scavenger character, they probably will. So I think maybe I'm going to lower this by a couple of points. Chance to survive a fatal blow, yes please, we'll keep that. Quickness is important because it means that in combat you act earlier. Strength is important for melee attacks, and quickness is ranged attacks, and scavengers I think are typically ranged, so I might lower my strength a little bit. put the quickness up. I could be wrong on that. That could come back and bite me. Maximum hit points, I kind of want them up because I don't want my captain to die. And morale's less important for your captain because I don't think your captain can ever completely lose morale and break. The rest of your crew can, and they will mutiny if their morale gets too low. So I'm going to put this in fortitude instead. Make our captain a bit tough. Okay, skills-wise, pistols. Yeah, pistols are quite good for scavengers. A lot of their battle moves use pistols. Evasion's handy for dodging things. I don't think I need doctor. And I don't think I need explore as much as my scientist would have done. I probably do need negotiate, and command is important as well for a captain. Repair is probably quite handy, again for a scavenger. Negotiate I'll bump up as well. And I think stealth could be quite a handy one to have. So there we are, that's 15 out of 15. That feels about right. We'll stick with that for now. My contacts, so I don't need a court scientist, or a gestalt explorer, or politician, or all of these are basically the types of contacts you can have. What I probably do need is maybe I need someone who offers like scavenging stuff. I don't know if that's a particular type or not. Well, you know what, we'll go for smuggling, because smuggling's always fun. Introductions is important. In fact, maybe introductions is most important, because you want your contacts to introduce you to other contacts. That's really quite useful. So what I really want... So Court Scientist does do introductions. And we'll go for... Explorer missions are quite fun, and they do buy scientific intel if I pick up any of those. They offer trade permit, they're quite useful. Merchants are obviously quite handy as well. I'll go for a politician because they give us introductions. I'll go for a merchant, I'll go for a gestalt, and yeah, you know what, we'll go for a fixer as well, just because that feels about right. So I've got my 4 contacts here, 4 out of 4. The order in which I clicked them is basically how much starting friendship I have with them. So the politician is our strongest contact and the fixer is our weakest, but they'll still give us stuff. We can build up our reputation with them over time. So yeah, one of your contacts offers to introduce new contacts. Yeah, that'll do. We can find contacts through other routes as well. My ship, I've got another 400,000 to spend. 400,000? 40,000, another 40,000 to spend. So I could push it, but I think actually starting off with the Jura class is actually pretty good for us. It's a generalist kind of ship. The Scout Cutter is 195. No, I think we'll stick with the Jura for now. And my experience. Now, I'm not starting as a scientist. I want to start as... Is there not a scavenger here? Oh, okay, I need to unlock scavenger. Okay, in that case we'll start as a smuggler. Why not? That's close enough, and we've got the stealth and everything set up for it. Fair enough, I had not realised that was a thing. And we will rename this... Try and get my capitalisation right. Smuggler Revamp. Because there is already a smuggler template, but you know what? Ours is better. It just is. Okay, save template. Yeah, see, they've got skills all around and all sorts. We'll go for that. Launch. And now we can prepare our captain and change the map that we're playing on. So, we'll change what our captain looks like first. I mean, the moustache is quite impressive. That looks significantly creepy. We might go for that. That looks a bit more scavenger-like, I guess. Look for some sort of outfit that looks very... I mean, the orange jumpsuit is a fashion statement, but we're not going to go for that. I do quite like the Wild West suit look. That's impressive. Actually, we'll go for that. And it's Captain Gauntless. Thank you very much. Again, my shift key does not want to cooperate here. So Captain Gauntless, there we go. And so we're going to change the map. We're going to create a new map. There is a default one, which has 38 quadrants, but we're going to create a new one because they've recently upgraded the map generator in this game, and I've not tried it out yet. So, create new map. And we need to use map version 2 generator, that's their new one. Allows up to 60 quadrants. Well, you know what? It would be rude not to go for it. Galaxies with a huge number of quadrants are huge and unforgiving. Galaxies with a huge number of quadrants are huge. Yeah, that sounds about right. And unforgiving. At times, leaving large swathes of territory dangerous or wild or in the hands of your enemies. Fine. Do we want packed density, which is where they've got tightly linked clusters of quadrants with the occasional longer corridor between them. Maximum density, where they have tightly interlinked quadrants and fewer backwater places or separated clusters. Standard, best mix of clusters, alternate routes and isolated quadrants. Or scattered, or sparse, or very sparse, or minimum. Wow, okay. We'll go for standard. Just because I quite like the idea of having a few isolated areas as well. That could be a little bit of a backwater, effectively. Sounds about right for a smuggler, right? And we'll enter a seed. You know what? We'll just leave it like that. We'll create a new galaxy, and we will call this Gauntless YouTubing. With capitals, please. Thank you. I'm a stickler for capitals. Save map. Okay, so got Gauntless YouTubing. If any of you want the map seed, it's up there. I'll try and put it in the YouTube description as well. But it's STVO26687892903. I will copy that string and then I can paste it in the YouTube thing. So, currently none of my captains are using this map because we've just created it. I can preview the map, but you know what? I don't want to do that. It then tells you of all the factions that you can be aligned with, how much power have they got across the quadrant. So 7 quadrants, 65 landing zones across 60 systems. You know, they're all pretty much. I mean, Javat looks like they're suffering a little bit. Only 50 landing zones. Moknunwe are doing well, yeah. So basically all these factions have slightly different twists to them. They've all got a lot of lore behind them, and actually if you're interested in this game, do read up on the lore behind it. There is a whole little book that gives you some of the background and the history to it, which is actually really quite good reading. I'm not too familiar with any of the particular ones here, so we are going to go for... I mean, Javat really does look like they're struggling a little bit. I feel sorry for them. I'm going to make a foolish choice and maybe go for Javat. So, change faction, Clan Javat. Known as an industrious house, Clan Javat focuses on efficient mining operations, trade and deep space operations. So you get, their special rules are you get a 10% discount at Javat starports. But that's not if you're necessarily aligned with them, that's just if you're at their starports. Your other choices are, like, they've all got their own little background and lore and things like that. Reichart or Reichart are your typical kind of spy faction. Steel Song are your kind of mercenary or honourable mercenaries, basically. Moklumwe are your traders. They're all quite different in the way they work and how you interact with them during the game. So yeah, worth considering who you feel you most align with. Actually, I kind of feel like we should be part of the trade faction. If we're a smuggler, that kind of fits ish. And the other one is Devaltos, who are basically they just focus on wealth. But no, I feel like Moklunwe, if only because it'll be amusing to hear me try and pronounce that when we're into the game. So we'll go with that. We will go on normal difficulty. And yeah, we're ready to go. So we'll have the intro, and then we will assign our talents, which I'll come on to. Okay, here we go. Loading up the galaxy. One year ago, I became a Star Trader captain. Step forward, Captain Gauntless. From our family, you have been chosen to inherit your great-uncle's charter. I am willing. We know you will repay our choice by bringing Clan Moklumwe wealth and prosperity. I abandoned my life as a grav and took to the stars. I am the master of my ship. I answer to no one except my officers and crew. In the void, we live by the unique code of the Star Traders. We make our own way among the stars. We stay alive and take care of the ship, no matter what. The life of a spacer is a hard one, but my officers have my back. And together, we face the void. Orbiting Hydra Tri-C. Captain, we've reached a stable orbital trajectory over Hydra Tri-C. Thank you, Crystal. Should we engage the Void engine? So Crystal is one of my officers in the game. Let the engines rest. We need a minute for council. Officers, gather round. You all heard the message that I received at the starport today. A Mok'Lumnue prince, I'm just going to call him the Mock now, a Mock prince has requested that we transport a Zendu arbiter to his system. He is willing to pay handsomely, it seems. Speak your minds. Captain, the woman is an arbiter. She may be one of the most dangerous people in the galaxy, but also one of the most powerful. Thank you, Marius, I appreciate your input. It also means she is of the Zendu bloodline, like the Templars. Yes, Heska, yes it does. It is rare that a Star Trader captain is called on to help an arbiter. This Estelle Brockstrom could be a valuable ally. I've heard said that working for a Zendu can be both a curse and a blessing. She claims she only needs a short lift across the quadrant. The pay would be good. There is much to consider. Your thoughts are appreciated. Dismissed. Arbiter Estelle Brockstrom is waiting for us at Baltimore Annex and needs a passage to the court of Prince Callaghan Fayen. Both she and the prince could be powerful allies. However, if we wish to avoid entanglements, we can go our own way. A waypoint to Baltimore Annex has already been set, and I can check my missions list for further details or to dismiss the request. So yes, this is one of those, so it's got various tooltips about how you use the interface now, but I don't need this, so yeah, fine. Sorry, this is all just the intro for how to actually use the game interface, which thankfully I already know. So, this is our quadrant that we're in at the moment. So this is the Fjarn Reach. And we are in orbit around Hydra Tri-C, as per the intro. The map itself, if I go to Galactic Map, so this is the Fjarn Reach, and these are all the quadrants in our map. So it's quite a big map, and we're starting not quite out on a limb, but not that far away from it actually. The heart would be around here somewhere, I guess. Around Hendiadis sector, whatever. Come back out of the galactic map now by clicking on Fjarn Reach. Nope. Ha, you know I said I remembered how to play the game. Can I just hit escape? Yes. So just hit escape to go back to this one. So what we have here are various places you can travel to. The icons around them indicate what services and other things they have available to us. So around Hydra Tri-C, we have a starport, which allows you to refuel and repair. That's those first two icons there. We have medical facilities for healing up your crew, and we have a spice hall, which basically improves your crew's morale. And if you hover over these, it will tell you as well. It has a trade law of 3, which is fairly low, so you can get away with quite a lot. And it has a starport of 10, which is fairly high, which means you can do a lot of things at the starport. You can repair your ship, you can buy new modules for your ship and things like that. Some of the other icons over here, so you see the yellow people icon. That basically means that one of your contacts is in orbit, or is at one of the landing zones, so the Ashen Zone in this case. The little green icon means there's an exploration mission somewhere here you can do. So in the Digala Sands at Alta Major, there's an exploration mission that we could pursue. So yeah, the icons here give you quite a quick overview of what's going on. The little flags underneath are who's in control of that particular zone. So this is the flag of the Mox, of Mok'Lumnue. The eye there, I believe, is the flag of Syndicate Reichart. I'm going to call him Reichart from now on. And there are others as well. So the quadrants tend to be mixed ownership typically, and there's usually one faction that's got majority rule, which looks like it might either be us or Reichart here. Oh, it's us. There we are. So that's handy because we've got good reputation with them. We've got a +10 reputation, so they quite like us. So let's have a look at our crew on our ship. In fact, first let's have a look at our ship. So this is our ship, the Jura class vessel. just called Jura class. We can rename it. We will call this the Gauntless bucket. There we are. We're flying a bucket. So these are the various components we've got on our ship. I won't go through what all of these do. The important things are your barracks dictates how many crew members you can have, as well as how many, and the quarters dictate how many officers you can have. Your weapons locker dictates how strong your guys will be in person or crew-to-crew combat, if it comes to that. And then the weapons you have built in dictate what you can do during ship-to-ship contact. The passenger cabin allows you to take passengers, which is important for some missions. Cargo allows you to take cargo, which is important for pretty much everything. And then it gives you various stats over here. We will probably come onto this more as we proceed through the game and start trying to upgrade and possibly just buy a new ship. But for now, let's look at our crew. Crew manifest. So these are all the people we have on our crew. You can see they've all got a green outline at the moment because they all have talents that I need to apply for them. And talents are basically like level ups. So all of your crew gain experience. When they've gained enough experience, you can apply a talent or a job increase to them. And I'll show you what that means. So at the top left we have me, Captain Gauntless. Then we have my 3 officers. So we've got Marius, who is a doctor. We've got Crystal, who is an engineer. And we've got Heska, who is our quartermaster. And then we have just the normal, for want of a better word, the bog standard crew members. We've got a crew dog, an E-tech, a gunner, a navigator, a pilot, a swordsman, a mechanic. There are a whole host of different character classes on play here. So when they level up, if I click my captain, when they level up, they will get that little green highlight, which means they are ready for training. And as it says here, ready to train 1 new talent from a job. Now, jobs are basically your character classes. So a smuggler is a job, a scavenger is a job, a pilot is a job. And you basically gain ranks within each job. As you level up, you apply your level ups either to new jobs or to leveling up existing ones. Your captain and your officers can have a maximum of 3 jobs, I believe it is. Your standard crew can only ever have the 1. So your standard crew, so over here, Jules Mokmu will always be a crew dog. That is her job. She will never get a different job to go alongside it. They don't multi-class, as it were, but she will level up her crew dog talent. So to level up, basically you click the train talents thing here, and I won't do show all. It will show you the talents that you can currently apply to this crew member. So what are the bonuses that they qualify for at the moment? So this is things like relaxing leave, which is an ongoing effect. When passing the spice plate in the hall, so that's when we go to a spice hall to recover our crew's morale on a planet, grant all other revelers a morale bonus equal to 30% of this character's charisma. Okay, so this is something where if we were to purchase this talent, every time that Jules was taking part in the Spice Hall revelry and everyone was improving their morale, she would allow other people in the Spice Hall to gain an additional morale bonus, which is quite good. But early in the game, the kind of things you probably want to focus on are improving your skill saves, because travelling in space is dangerous. There are a lot of skill rolls that take place just as you're flying from place to place. And you really want to be able to pass those checks, because if you don't, your ship suffers damage, you lose fuel, you lose morale, people get unhappy, they mutiny, you have to kill them. It's a whole thing. So really what you want is to make sure that you pass your skill saves. So this is quite a good one. Safety protocols. Automatically passes a failed ship operations test in any situation, including deep space travel, landing or hyperwarp jumps. And you can see on the right hand side here, currently none of our crew know this exact talent, so nobody knows safety protocols. And no members of the crew know this type of talent, so the skill saving for ship ops. Nobody has anything that does that. They don't have safety protocols, they don't have anything that does the same sort of thing. So this is quite handy to have somewhere. So I'm going to train Jules up on that. Jules will save us if we screw up operating our ship. Okay. In terms of attributes, you can see actually her charisma is quite low, so that one around giving an additional bonus based on her charisma, probably not worth it. You can dismiss crew members if you don't like a particular person, or if you think you can get someone better to fill in the gaps. You can change the way they look. You can look at their training records and things like that. You can change the equipment that they get. That's important if they're going to be doing crew-to-crew combat. But what we're going to look at is Captain Gauntless the Smuggler. If you show all talents, it'll show you all the ones that you can't use yet as well. You need to have a certain rank in the job before you can access some talents. If you untick this, it will just show you the ones you can get right now. So again, stealth is quite a useful one, and we don't have anyone who can pass stealth at the moment. I think that probably jives quite well with what we're going to be doing as Gauntless. If we are smuggling stuff, then we probably want to be able to be stealthy about it. The alternative is the actual smuggle talent, which is when you're attempting to access the black market on a planet, you can take less risk. Basically, there are card games that dictate how successful you are with accessing black markets, with being able to do exploration, and with various other encounters and things. So it's useful to be able to have talents that apply in those instances. So this is quite handy because it means that when we're playing the card game, you typically have 5 cards randomly drawn, and you get to pick one of those at random. Some of them will be risks that have a negative effect. Some of them will be market access cards that get you access to the black market. And this talent means that when you actually try to access the black market, you take out a risk card from your 5, you replace it with a market access card before drawing. So you effectively significantly increase your chance of getting into the black market without negative effects. So we will go with that for our captain. And then there will be various other things we can level up on the others here. Just to demonstrate how you go about playing the game, if you left click on where you're currently docked, or currently in orbit of, you'll get a picture of the planet, you'll get the various landing zones that are accessible to you come up here, and you can click to land on a planet, and you get a screen that looks like this, with the various options you can pursue down here. So for example, you can buy fuel. Fuel it's relatively cheap here, it's B+, it's not as good as A, but it's better than C. You can heal your crew if they need it, you can recruit a new crew member. We do have space for one more crew member, that could be important. You can repair your ship, you can improve your morale at the spice hall as discussed, and you need to pay your crew wages. Now they will demand this on a regular basis, and when you next land at a landing zone, you want to be paying them because it will increase their morale, and if they're not paid, it will massively decrease their morale. So keep them paid. The money you have is down here in the bottom left, 23,000 credits, and the cargo you have is here. I have no cargo currently. You can buy cargo at anywhere with an exchange that you have access to. You can upgrade your ship or buy new ships at the starport if there's one of the right level and if you are allowed to. You will notice the little game log on the right hand side here. Even just landing at this landing site, which we were already in orbit of, there was a pilot check. So the game basically went, oh, there's some orbital debris, you need to roll a skill check to make sure that someone on your crew spots that debris and pilots you out of the way of it. Luckily we succeeded. We rolled a strong 13 on our pilot roll, and basically managed to beat the difficulty of the check, which means we didn't suffer any negative effects. That's good. Well done whoever it was that has the pilot skill on our crew, which we've not really looked at yet. But we could recruit another crew member who's available. So we could get another crew dog, we could get another pilot, a gunner. You can see here it tells you how many you've got on board already. I think we're okay for now. There are different classes available at different places, and some of your contacts will give you access to different crew members as well. So maybe it's better that we just run with one seat empty for now, and see if we can pick up a very useful crew member in the future. Known contacts, if you click that, it will list all the people you know. It will tell you how far away that they are from you. AU, astronomical unit, means they're in the same system as you. One jump means how many systems away they are. So Jade McDervish is actually one jump away from this quadrant. She's not in the quadrant itself, the other 4 all are. Estelle Brockstrom is the story contact that we got given as part of that introduction. So I think that's where we basically need to help her out. And then these are the ones we picked as part of our character generation, these other 4. So we have the Distort Explorer, the Politician, the Merchant, and the Fixer. So I think what we're going to do next is we are going to go and find the story contact, So our mission log is... I should know where our mission log is. Known rumours. Current missions, there we are. So current missions, compelling passenger. The Arbiter Estelle Brockstrom is waiting for us to give her passage to the court of Prince Callaghan Fayen. Arbiters are both powerful agents of Shalun law and are of Zendu blood, which allows them to access the genetic memories of their ancestors. Arbiter Brockstrom could be a powerful ally if we agree to help her. So we can go and pick her up and then bring her to where she wants to go. For that we will get some credits and we will get drawn deeper into the initial starting story of the game. You don't need to follow the story, you can just go off and do your own thing. You will encounter kind of different contacts, different missions, different things as you go through. But if you want to follow the introductory story, then that is the way into it, is go and find Estrelle Brockstrom and take her where she needs to go, which is probably what we will do next. But for now, I hope this has served as a very brief intro to the general setup of the game, and then I will continue on and post the next part of this in due course, and you can see how it actually plays in practice, together with hopefully some little bit of ship combat, a little bit of smuggling, maybe a little bit of crew combat, and a little bit of getting into the story. So thank you very much, have a good one, and goodbye.